Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is your daily go getimism number 629 for June 23rd, 2016. Tonight I want to talk to y'all about home training. Ain't got no home training. Ain't got no home training. Wild hooligans, little thugs, little rascals. The old heads would always say that somebody ain't have no home training when they saw children running around undisciplined, being rude, being loud, being extremely rambunctious without any type of control or theory. Children who won't listen, who won't settle down, who are extremely hyperactive, rebelliously so, totally out of control, won't listen to reason. We called them, we said that they ain't had no home training. Teachers in schools ran into students like this all the time. Disruptive in class, totally undisciplined, running back and forth to the principal's office, cursing, using foul language, have totally no regard for authority, total disregard for authority, and on top of that, totally lacking in respect, totally disrespectful. No home training. Here's the thing about it: they do have home training. It's just that the home that they come from isn't a home where the training is good training. It's not. They're not receiving the training that's going to get them far into the future. They're receiving training that is actually going to pull them down, that is going to probably get them in a lot of trouble with the law, the kind of training that's going to have them having a lot of social problems. They're basically being trained to be dysfunctional. They're trained to be a sociopath. It's not a good look. We say that there's no home training, but when we say home training, we mean good home training. Respect for your elders, control of yourself, not speaking out of turn, not being rude to others, sharing, acting in such a way that people are attracted to you instead of detracted from you. Good home training. Most of us have it. Of course, there's some of us who don't have it. And sometimes we get along with people who don't have that much of it. The thing is, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And the middle is the longest part. So if the middle is representative of the lack of home training that you've had, it's going to be a long road for you. Because it could be a long road paved in an early life with juvenile detention centers, which is your first introduction into the criminal justice system. So you may be running back and forth to court fighting cases, going in and out of jail, finding it very hard to stay out of trouble with the law and with other authority figures. Probably finding it hard to keep a stable income in the form of a job because of your sociopathic tendencies. It makes it very hard for you to respect authority figures, which means that you don't have any respect for rankings. So that's also going to mean that you probably feel that whatever you feel in your gut, whatever your feelings dictate, that's probably what you say out of your mouth. And we should know that can get you into nothing but trouble. And that never solves anything. This ain't TV when you tell somebody off and they listen, like the light clicks on magically. In real life, it just doesn't work that way. In real life, people want to be treated with respect. In real life, people work all of their lives and they expect to be treated as a person that has put in the work and should be reaping the rewards, the fruit of their labor. That's how it goes in the real world. When you receive good home training, it takes you so far in life because people can see something different in you. It crosses all racial boundaries. A lot of times when people complain about how the white man, is doing them like this and doing them like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, because it does. But in order to be able to combat the white man, you got to be smarter than he is. You have to take him out of the realm of what he believes about, his preconceived. You have to take him out of his preconceived notions about people that look like me, us, we. So I'm not saying that you have to talk like him, but you have to show this. I'm not saying that you have to act like him, but you have to show that. I'm not saying that you have to be like him, but you have to separate yourself away from the stereotypes that he may already have about you. So you have to show him. So sometimes you may have to show him either through verbal speech or through your actions that you grew up with somebody coaching you. Your mom and your dad was there. Either one, your mom and your dad, hopefully, but at least your mom or your dad. They showed you something that separates you from somebody that was raised, that basically had to raise themselves and had to learn everything on the fly. Because it does show. It does show. But if parents don't get the proper home training from their parents, then we have 3 generations of parents that ain't going to get it right, with the opportunity for the 4th to not be able to get it right. And the only way to get it right is to be taught, because these things don't just click into your mind magically. You can get it by watching somebody else, or you can get it by somebody pulling your coattail and being like, listen, you have a good team, but you need a new coach. You're as skilled as possible. You're as skilled as can be at your craft, at your trade, at your profession, at what you do. But you ain't going to be able to get nowhere because you don't know how to talk to anybody. You don't know how to interact with anybody. You ain't got no home training, homie. I'm going to give you some. I'm going to let you know what to say and when to say it. It's very important to be able to know what to say and when to say it. And part of home training is knowing what questions to ask. Because oftentimes, knowing which questions to ask is just as important as knowing how to give the answers. Let me put it that way. So we got to do something better for our youth out here. We really do. Because, so many of us, we see our young people on our trains, our subways, our L's, our buses, and, we see how much energy they have, and sometimes we see them acting out. There's so many crazy things going on with our youth nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They have to deal with a lot of things we didn't have to deal with growing up. Like all of the homosexuality. We just didn't have to deal with that when we was growing up. You know what I mean? Good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter how you look at it. We didn't have to deal with that. But that's something that they have to deal with now. So we're going to see a variety of teenagers that we didn't bear witness to when we were younger. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Just didn't see it. Even in the 90s. But it is that way now. So because we see what's going on with them, we think that they're out of control. We think that they're wild. I'm not talking about wild because they have to deal with the homosexuality. I'm talking about all the other stuff that they get in. Because they're known to be violent. They're known, these kids out here, because they have the internet, they have access to so much information. So we see their fights on videos, on social media. We see how they speak to each other. We bear witness to some of their promiscuity. And we think that that's the direction that this generation is going. But I don't buy that. There's still good kids out there, and they are starving for knowledge. And I mean starving. They're famished. And we have the knowledge to give them. But if we act like we're afraid of our youth, then we're not going to be able to give them the proper home training that they need, and they're not going to be able to advance to the next phase of this life and be able to take care of themselves and us, because we're getting older. So we got to do a better job. We got to stop being afraid of our youth, and we have to pull them by their coattails and give them the knowledge that they need. Show these kids how to act, what to do, what to say, and when to say it. It ain't that hard. You know how it was when we was growing up. If an old head gave you some knowledge, yeah, you might have brushed them off if you didn't respect them that much, but you listened to what they had to say if that shit touched you. So we gotta find out where their hot button is, where their red button is, and get to that. That's my rant for the day. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember the youth are starving for the knowledge. They're famished for the knowledge. They don't have no home training, and we have all of the tools to give them the home training if we have been home trained ourselves. I said home train, I ain't say home school. But that's not a bad idea either. And I don't mean homeschooling as far as you leaving the conventional classroom and being schooled at home. I mean teach your kids everything that they need in order to be able to survive and make their existence on this earth as seamless as possible. You know, life can be a little tough sometimes. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be challenges. It's going to be a little rough. But when you have the backing behind you that lets you know it's going to be alright, guess what? Things tend to turn out alright. So let's make it alright for them. Give these kids some home training, man. Make them stop acting like thugs, hooligans, little crazy, I don't know, another adjective. You know what I'm saying? I'll let y'all. This Urban Therapy with Son spring cleaning event is this Saturday, June 25th. Come through Rittenhouse Street and Wissahickon Avenue, 10 o'clock a.m. If you live in the Philadelphia area, come through. Things are going to be off the chain. Come through. Thing is hot. We hiking in the woods. We hike. Make sure you wear some boots. You don't mind getting dirty. Other than that, it's going to be kind of warm, so make sure you dress. You know what I mean? Dress the part. Shoots your shorts on. Bring your insect repellent. Have a good time.